Let's talk about the eclipses. Eclipses are a time, they have a particularly impactful significance on a global cosmic scale, in the sense that they amplify whatever it is that's happening for that particular full moon theme. So depending on what kind of a chart, how the planets that are being, where the planets are at that time of an eclipse, you could feel the effects for up to 2 years. The effects last at least 1 year. So these are going to be some major themes that are going to be playing out over a longer period of time. So our first eclipse is going to be on February 11th, and it's full moon eclipse. Now, if you take a look at where the moon is, in Leo, Leo is all about self-expression and generosity and romance and just joy and love and expressing themselves and expressing their enjoyment at being alive. And so you bring that element into the moon, which is an emotional, a deeply motivation. It's like our hidden motivations. You bring that joy and that romance and that love and that self-expression. So it's a time where we can express our emotions more freely, and do it in such a way that it works to build, solid, long-lasting relationships. And with the sun in Aquarius, it's like Aquarius is all about how to build a future. And so it's at 22 degrees again, which is bringing, how do we build a solid, long-lasting future that's going to benefit all of us? So the polarity is between, us in our inner world and the sun, which is out in the outer world. And how do we bring this into balance? What needs to be released? What needs to be created? Now, the February 11th, 2017 is also a universal day, number 23, which the Chaldeans called the Star of the Lion, which is like, it's an unstoppable sign. It's like, this is like the number that it symbolizes, being able to do anything and everything with like a lot of passion and a lot of zeal and just being unstoppable, like a lion. And so with this particular full moon eclipse, it's like the theme is, it's like, being solid and honest and honorable in your relationships. And how can we do that in such a way that is loving, that's playful, and looks out for our future? Okay, the next eclipse in February is February 26th. And this is a new moon eclipse. And as you can see, the moon and the sun are at 8 degrees in Pisces. So we're being, this theme is, the 2017 theme is being amplified again. And look at all the planets that are all bundled up with this. We've got Mercury, we got the South Node, Sun, Moon, and Neptune, where they're all together. So it's like, this isn't just a simple little, we're going to think about a few things and what do we want to create next. This is powerful because with Mercury at 1 degree in Pisces, we're talking about initiating new kinds of conversations that have a spiritual bend to them, that have a humanitarian Christ consciousness, unconditionally loving sort of a theme to them. And with the sun and the moon at 8 degrees in Pisces, this theme is being carried out with what is the big vision that we can take into creating some sort of a reality where, we can work with this unconditional love, to be sensitive to people. And, and Neptune is right there at 11 degrees, which is all about breaking through and double new beginnings. And it's like using your intuition. It's like use your intuition to create the conversations that will inspire, this grander vision where we were all connected between heaven and earth and between all of us. The number 8 is not only a connection between heaven and earth, but we are all pieces and part of this heaven and earth. And so, it's like when we connect the outer reality, we're also connecting the inner realities. And so this is a very powerful new moon. And then we've also got, just to add a little interest to this, we've got Uranus is opposite Jupiter now, and Uranus and Mars are together. So we've got a little bit of passion going on in the provocative change that's going on. And then these are being squared by Pluto. We still got our Pluto, Uranus, and Jupiter square going on. So, we've got this, there's activation going on. It's like, what are we going to do? What hidden strengths are we going to draw on that can be expanded, and we've got the passion there now, and the vitality and the action. What kind of actions can we take that will support a movement with this whole theme of the Pisces new moon, the Pisces, which is the Christ consciousness, the unconditional love, using our using our unconscious powers. So what vision do you want to hold and lead others into this year? That's a question for you. Okay, in August, we have another full moon eclipse. It's on August 7th. Now, it's about activating the magician. It's at 15 degrees. 15 is the number of the magician in Leo, and 15 degrees in Aquarius. So we've got, there's a magical energy to this. And of course, like we said about Leo earlier, it's about expressing. It's about self-expression. It's about generosity and seeing things in a big way. None of this little stuff. We're going to be big. And, with the moon at 15 degrees, it's like, what magic can you bring from your emotions that will support, a new way of being? And with this full moon, we've got Mars right next to the sun. And so it's like it's being amped up. It's like there's a lot of vitality here. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of energy to make something happen. A lot of energy to take some sort of an action that will, support us, support you, support the world. We've still got our Pluto, Jupiter. These two are squaring each other. Saturn, or Uranus is just moved on just a little bit, but it's just has left the square. But so we've got this tension going on between what can we grow and expand and be balanced about, and what can, where is our hidden powers. So it's about bringing forth, and Pluto is at 17 degrees, which is, again, amplifying the 17 of 2017. So it's about, using our power, using our inner power to bring forth something that is long-lasting and enduring. The last eclipse we have in August is August 21st, and this one's a really interesting one. It's the new moon eclipse, and if you look at where they are at 28 degrees in Leo. So here again, Leo is the it's the ruler, it's the king, it's the lion, it's the king of creatures. Is the way the mythology is. Um, so here we have the two of them again back in Leo, and they're supported again by Mars, who is bringing a vitality and a passion to the whole thing. And it's opposite, they're opposite Neptune. Come on, get my little dot here. Neptune in Pisces is opposite Mercury. So, and then we've got support from Uranus now. So Uranus is bringing an unpredictable element to it. It's supporting the sun and moon and bringing about some sort of an unpredicted sort of thing. So rather than like pushing and activating and stirring the pot, it's now supporting whatever is being initiated with this particular new moon. And you've got Pluto opposite Venus. So it's like trying to find that balance of using your inner feminine strength to create and to use your inner feminine power. It's that feminine aspect of yourself. There is power in being a woman, in other words. There's power in the feminine. So what's interesting about this particular eclipse is the number 28. It's the degrees at which it is. And the number 28 in Chaldean numerology is called the trusting lamb. Now, that's kind of a funny name, but what it is, it reduces to the number 1, which is another theme of this particular year. But the trusting lamb part is, it's like you work together with people to create something, but you also have to watch that you're not being, that people aren't betraying you and betraying your trust and betraying your vision. So that is the shadow side that's underlying this particular numerology for this particular eclipse. So it will be very interesting to see what's happening in the world, because this is a chance where something unexpected could come out, especially with Uranus supporting things and Aries right there, the warrior planet, it's hard to say. So, but if we, hold true to, seeking out the inner power that's within us, and, and actually Saturn up here is actually supporting this whole new moon business rather than being squaring it. It's supporting it. So this new moon has a lot of support for some new ideas, some new growth, some new expansion that can come forth from it. So there's a lot of potential in this. So we'll just use our imagination and, and ask ourselves, what would our life be like if our dreams became our reality? And how can we do things in an innovative, fun, and playful way? So here again, we'll take your chart and let's compare and see what's happening with, how the eclipses are showing up in your chart, how they're affecting you. So in this particular situation, we have Mercury in Aquarius affecting the natal moon. So, there's going to be this person is going to be, reviewing her thoughts and taking a look at what's going on and seeing what thoughts are creating, what kind of emotions. And, there's a thought emotion balance going on here, is a thought emotion activation. So maybe there's going to be more awareness that comes to, what thoughts are creating what emotions, and then doing something about it. And then up here at the new moon in Leo, that's activating a couple of these planets, Mars and Pluto, in this natal chart. And so, so there's going to be emotions. This particular eclipse on February 11th is going to be a highly emotional time for this particular person because, her moon is being activated, and the moon, the transiting moon, is activating her power planets. Pluto is a power planet, and Mars is a power planet. So, there's going to be some emotions about power and power outside herself and power within herself. And so, when she's aware of this, she can monitor, pay attention to what she's thinking and be able to manage this and be able to understand when she's being triggered, when her emotions are being triggered about something, about authority, about power, about doing things, about fighting for something. And then she can sort of stop and pull back and say, okay, what do I really want to fight for? So in this next chart, this is actually the August full moon, there's several activations. We have the sun activating the moon, and we have Pluto activating Mars, and we have Uranus activating Saturn. So for this particular person, this will, there's a lot of activations going on. So this particular eclipse is going to be, bringing that balance again. It's going to be stirring up their emotions, going to be shining a light on how they're feeling. How is their life going? And with Pluto activating Mars, those are both power planets. And one is hidden powers and hidden secrets and hidden strengths, and the other is overt, vitality, passion. So, with the emotions being activated and the power being activated, this, there could be a little bit of power struggle going on in this person's life. And then you throw in Saturn and Uranus, so that brings that element of unpredictability and activation. So trying to figure out what is the right thing to work on, what is the right thing to sift through. So this person will be challenged with, the things they're going to be working on, the things they'll be thinking about a lot will have to do with health and vitality and power and emotions. And how does the emotions affect the health and vitality and the power? In this next chart, we have more activations for this particular person. We have Saturn activating their Uranus. We have Pluto activating her Mars and Moon. And we have Venus activating Mercury. So, for her, here we go. We got, Saturn and Uranus are activating their, Saturn is trying to get Uranus to settle down, to come up with something that's functional. And Pluto is activating her emotions and her passions again. And, here again, there may be some power struggles going on. There may be some power issues coming up because they're both power planets and they're attached to the moon, which is an emotional planet. So, to watch out for, this is really a time to really pay attention to, what you're feeling and what your body's saying and what you're thinking, because mindfulness is going to be very important during this time for this particular person. And then she's got Venus activating Mercury. So in other words, you've got, the gentler side. You've got what you want to start talking about and seeing the beauty in things and seeing the value in things. So, this whole eclipse for this particular person may turn into being an activation of somehow taking the power that is being activated and turn it into something beautiful, something that she can communicate about. So take a look at your chart in relation to the eclipses and see what, what planets are being affected. And, because this can affect you up to 2 years. This will be a theme that'll keep playing out for you. And, are there any transiting planets that are affecting your natal planets? And so what themes are these? And what themes are playing out for you? And, what is the best way for you now that you know what you're up against? What is the best way for you to cope? Or what do you need to release to be able to cope with what's going to be activated for you? So in the next videos, we're going to talk about the human design themes for 2017.